DreAllDay.com.
What up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. This video here I'm making is as a response to a question, a unique question that I got in the comments to one of my vids. Actually, it wasn't a comment, it was an email that I got from a kid who said he plays basketball, he loves basketball, but his parent, his father, I believe, is forcing him to take up another sport in addition to basketball. So he can't just do basketball, he needs to do another sport. And maybe some of you have been in this situation. Maybe your coach at your sport told you, hey, you got to play another sport at the same time. And he asked, what are some good sports that are complementary to basketball that he can do along with basketball? And I think this is a great question I'm going to address here in this video, and I also want to know what you all think about this, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Because many athletes have a lot of energy. If you're an athlete, you're playing a sport, you probably got a lot of physical energy. And in addition to playing your sport, basketball, whatever it is, you probably got enough energy to do some other sports or do some other things. And the question is, well, what else can I do? Where else can I spend my time? What are some other cross-training? Because I don't think people talk about cross-training that much these days, but back in the 90s, cross-training was a big thing. And Nike made all these sneakers that were cross-training sneakers. Bo Jackson's were cross-trainers. Deion Sanders, cross-trainers. Those shoes were all cross-trainers. And Nike, like, what is it? The Huarache came out as a type of cross-training shoe. People wanted it because it's like, oh, I could do different sports with the same shoe. That was a big thing that, for those of you who remember that, and even those of you who don't. But anyway, if you're going to do a different sport other than basketball, I'm going to give you my recommendations, but I also going to put out the disclaimer that I'm not an expert at saying what sport is specifically. I'm an expert at knowing basketball, but I'm not going to call myself a full-fledged expert on cross-training because I'm not a cross-trainer. I never got paid for cross-training. Nobody ever paid me to train them in multiple sports. I know basketball. But what I am going to tell you is what I know from my body and why certain sports are nice complementary sports to do along with basketball, even if you're not doing the sport. Like if you look at a magazine like Men's Fitness or Men's Health, a lot of times they'll have workouts like, hey, train like a pro athlete for a guy who works in an office building all day. He ain't no athlete, he ain't getting paid for the sport, but he wants to train like an athlete. They have him do certain things from certain sports. So that's what I'm telling you here in this video. These are the two sports that I think are best for you. If you're a ball player, you want to train, even if you just want to train like an athlete in that sport, not necessarily play it, you know what I'm saying, or compete in it, but you just want to train like an athlete in that sport, how it can help your basketball game. Two sports, boxing and cross-country running. Those are the two sports, and I'm going to tell you why. First, let's talk about cross-country running. We know the game of basketball, there's a lot of running. Okay, you're running, I think they said 4 to 6 miles. Every time you play a full game of basketball, you're running 4 to 6 miles throughout that game. Now, of course, cross-country running, those of you know what it is, distance running. Even if you want to go run on the beach or run in your neighborhood like I like to do, you can do that stuff. That's steady state cardio. Steady state cardio, for those who don't know what that is, it means you're going at a steady pace and your heart rate gets up to a certain pace and it stays there for an extended period of time. Basketball is not like that. We know basketball is starting and stopping. You start, stop, you might stand around, you might move laterally, you might jump, you might come out the game, come back in the game. There's a lot of sprinting and running, but it's not steady state cardio. So it's different from basketball, but listen, all this stuff is different from basketball because it's not basketball. I say cross country because it will help you get your cardiovascular fitness up. And a lot of basketball players really don't play at their best level, the best that they could play, because they're not in shape. I watch basketball players play half court, 3-on-3. I'm like, these same players, you put them in a 5-on-5, they won't have the same skills. I'm gonna say that one more time. You take a basketball player who's great playing half court, 1-on-1, 3-on-3, but that same player in a 5-on-5, they won't have the same skills, not because they can't play, not because they don't know how to run up and down the court, it's because they don't have the conditioning. It's easier to play half court than full court. We all know that, right? Because you don't have the running aspect in it. Full court basketball, cross-country running will help you get your cardio up, and hopefully you keep your cardio up even when you're back to basketball season or when you stop doing so much cardio. Keep your cardio up. You need to be in shape at all times. If you are out of shape, you will lose games, not because you can't play, but because you don't have the cardiovascular fitness. So that's why I say cross-country. The other one is boxing. Why do I say boxing? Because boxing does a couple things. Number one, there's a lot of cardio in boxing if you didn't know. If any of you have ever done a boxing class may be a little bit scaled down because they try to make it fit for as many people as possible. They try to make it for the masses. So a class, not so much. But have you ever been trained? You ever had a boxing trainer take you through a boxing workout? And I've done that on my guy over at Fifth Street Gym in Miami Beach. Not even on Fifth Street anymore, but they call it that. Where Muhammad Ali used to train. The training for boxing is pretty rigorous. The warm-up, just the warm-up alone is tough. They'll have you jump rope for like 5 minutes straight, 10 minutes straight, just jumping rope without stopping. That's not as easy as it sounds. It looks easy when you watch somebody jump rope. Okay, it's jumping rope. Everybody knows how to do that. But it's the cardio aspect. And then you add in the strength aspect with boxing. Now, you're not really lifting weights in boxing, but y'all see boxing training. Y'all watch Floyd Mayweather and all these cats when they're doing their boxing training. Y'all see what they're doing. They're not really using weights, but they're doing stuff to build up their body, to take possibly getting hit. So all of that stuff matters for your body, and basketball is the same thing. You don't necessarily have to lift so many weights in basketball, but again, you're gonna have contact. You're gonna have contact coming from different angles while you still gotta move and do your thing and maybe shoot a shot, try to finish through contact. So I like boxing for that. The cardio aspect. The second thing is the building up the body aspect. And the third thing with boxing is a discipline. And a lot of athletes just don't have discipline in any sport. Athletes just don't have discipline because they never had to have discipline. In boxing, you gotta have discipline because when you get out in that boxing ring, you can't get emotional, you can't get fearful, you can't get out of control, you can't forget your game plan if you had a game plan. Even if the opponent does something crazy, you can't let that get to you. If the crowd gets to you, if there's a crowd, you can't let that stuff get to you. You gotta learn discipline in boxing. In basketball, you might have a trainer or a coach always over top of you telling you what to do. They're the discipline. But what about when you gotta be disciplined by yourself? Boxing teaches that discipline. And I don't know as much about boxing as I know distance running. I do more distance running than I've done boxing. But if I was to do another sport, I would do boxing, not so I could go become a championship fighter, but to learn the discipline and go through the training of boxing, because it is much harder than it looks. Trust me, I've been through some. Any of you been through it, y'all know. Now I wanna know in the comments, what do you think a sport that is complimentary for a basketball player besides basketball? What sports are complimentary and why? Tell me what 2 sports at least you think a basketball player should do if they had to do another one, or if they wanted to do another one, that is complimentary for their basketball skills, that will help them be a better basketball player. All right, it's not just to do it for fun. Y'all get this? That will help them be a better basketball player, and why? Leave it down there in the comments, because I'm interested in this too. I'm not just saying that just to get comments. I'm saying it because I really want to know. I don't really have a definitive, like, these are definitely the 2 best. That's what I think, but I want to know what y'all think, especially those of you who have played other sports. Tell me why that will complement basketball, and those of you who have done other stuff, tell me. I want to know. Leave your feedback, leave it down there in the comments. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.